Okay, look at what we have here. We got some Speed Racer twigs. So I want to do another quick video because I have one of these twigs built up, and I also wanted to clarify what I meant in the other video where I said that I had 3 of these frame kits. So here is one finished one. I'm building a few for the guy that designed this frame. This is one way you can build it. So the frame kits will come with the frame, the canopy, and I think in the future there will be options to get a colored canopy and whatnot. So this one was built up using a 16 by 16 stack. It is the iFlight Success Micro, and it is the one with the VTX on it, and you can see that everything fits just fine. The only thing is, and this totally reminds me of back in the day with the Tomo Quad's Predator frame, where you got to take the standoff off to access the USB, which isn't a problem at all for me. It never was for me before. I mean, you know, it would be nice to not have to do that, but it's not a big deal to have to do that. So, you know, you take out one screw. You don't even have to take this one all the way out. You just unscrew it until it's not in the standoff anymore and it stays in the canopy. Unscrew the bottom one, pull out the standoff, and you can plug it in, you know, and then it's easy. It's not a problem. So these are 10 millimeter tall standoffs, and these will come with the frame kit when it is for sale. It'll also come with some shorter standoffs for if you're using a whoop style flight controller. I believe those will be 6 millimeters, and it'll come with the screws that you need, and it also will come with a set of props. This is something that I forgot to mention in the other video as well, is that this frame can actually run 3-inch props, not 65 millimeter, but you can run 65 millimeter, and it probably would fly just as good as any other 65 millimeter build. But the coolest thing about this is that you can bump it up to 3-inch props and then have insane power. So yeah, it'll come with a set of these Rotorex Gym Fan 3025s, and the standoffs, the canopy, the screws, the frame. Pretty nice little kit. So you can see that this iFlight stack fits with the VTX on there. I checked, and the camera is like maybe 1 millimeter above the stack, so it's pretty close, but it's like a perfect fit. So pretty cool. It also will come with a couple of rubber bands. These are pretty decent rubber bands, better than the smaller ones that I used to use. They are working on trying to use something like one of these battery holders, but you can always print one of these yourself. You know, anybody can print one of these. The files on Thingiverse, there's tons of different ones, and this one actually almost looks like it was designed for this frame. I mean, you see how these little tabs stick out on the sides? It just lines up so perfectly with that. Look at this. It's like it was made for it. So yeah, that might be a good way to go. That's what I would do if it was mine, but you know, rubber bands aren't a big deal either. They work just fine, and that way you can use a wider range of battery size. I mean, with this, you're going to use a 452S or smaller. And, you know, there's so many different ways to build this that, you know, if you're using bigger motors or something, then you might want a little bit bigger of a battery. Then rubber bands will work just fine for that. So the deal is, I have these 3 frames here, and the first 3 people, I guess, that want me to build them up for them will get the frame for free. So I already have 1 claimed, so there's 2 left. So let me know, hit me up if you want one of these built. They're pretty cool. I haven't flown this one a bunch yet. I just flew it once for a couple minutes. It was awesome. The 3-inch props are great. It's a little bit different than the 65 millimeter. It's a little bit different than this. I mean, obviously, look at the prop size difference. You know, so you're going to get a little bit more power with this. I'm hoping that some manufacturers will start making more motors like smaller with lower kV for something like this, because with this on a 3-inch prop, you want a lower kV than you would on this. Like on this one, for example, I'm using 8500 kV. For this, you would want something more like 6500 kV, but there is no 1102 or 1103 6500 kV. So there's a 1104 6500, and that would probably work pretty good. But you know, you can play around with it. There's so many options for motors and props and everything. So, but this is one way. Like I showed in the other video, you can also use the whip style flight controller. It's going to bring your canopy down a little bit, but I mean, if it's just about looks, this one doesn't look bad at all with the standoffs under it. It looks pretty cool to me. So yeah, there it is, Speed Racer Twig. Hit me up if you want one built. You'll get the frame for free, the next 2 people anyway. And also, those 3 people that get one of these frames that I have, you'll be one of the first people to have this before it goes on sale, besides the beta testers. I think I covered everything. So yeah, the next video of these guys will be some DVR of me flying around. So alright, thanks.